So is this the only collar you have used on him?
I'm sorry.
Is this the only collar you have used on him?
Yeah, with the nose piece on. It's the only way I can control him.
It's Augusto, the dog daddy, and this is my backup German Shepherds. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Augusto, the dog trainer, your favorite dog daddy and dog trainer here on YouTube. So in one of my previous videos, I told you guys I'd be giving away free dog training to one of my lucky followers or subscribers. And all you had to do is comment the dog emoji on my Instagram, which is what you have to do to enter any and all of my giveaways. Today I have a video that you guys have been waiting for because I know you guys request a lot of my training videos and I haven't done one of those in a long time. So I decided to take this opportunity here in Vegas and film an entire training section with 4 different dogs to show you guys some of my training techniques in a full video. The real reason I came to Vegas is to train dogs. I have been having a lot of fun and doing other things as well, but I of course love doing what I love to do. Does that make sense? Like, I love doing what I love to do. So I love training dogs and that's what I'm here for. In this case, I was able to connect with a dog trainer, a local dog trainer here in Vegas, who actually works with a dog rescue, and they have some dogs with some behavioral issues. And she did comment the dog emoji on my Instagram, so I decided to pick her as who I would give away my training session. So I'm doing a free training for the rescue dogs to help them and help these dogs become more adoptable, or at least make them easier to be taken care of by the fosters. So all the dogs live with foster families in foster homes, and the foster parents were having some difficulties with behavioral issues, and that's what I'm going to show you guys in this video. This is going to be a 2-part video because it's a very long video, so I decided to cut it in half. So if you're watching this video and you like it, make sure you subscribe and come back to my channel to watch part 2 tomorrow with the 2 extra dogs. I think I'm going to divide it into 2 dogs in this video and then 2 dogs in the following video, so you guys get to see all 4 dogs being trained. Now, without any further ado, let's jump into it. Yeah. I'll get him out, but he's good with people, like friendly with people.
He's friendly with people, no issues with people.
I'll get him out first.
No, I have every color.
I'll get him out first, see how he is, and then we'll see how he responds to just me, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, alright, cool.
The first thing you notice is that the foster for this particular dog had 2 leashes on him and 2 different collars, and he was still very out of control. This is a 3-year-old male German Shepherd, a rescue dog, and as you can see, he doesn't have any idea of what the handler expects from him. He's just very confused, very hyper, jumping, pulling, very forward. You know, he has no respect for the pressure on the collar. He would choke himself out before he would ever even acknowledge that someone is trying to get his attention on a leash. I removed one of the leashes to make it easier for me, and you guys get an idea of how much he's pulling here. I'm holding him back very, very hard and doing corrections on the leash. And so far, I only have the collars that the handler had on him. So this is moments after he broke his leash and got running towards a dog. It is unknown what he would have done to the dog because he hasn't really attacked other dogs, but they just don't really know him. And I had just met him for a few minutes, so I'm still evaluating and seeing what he's all about. So you just go. No. Yeah, that's normal because I'm doing but now, what? I'm gonna start getting his attention because this area here is sensitive. So you take a few times of that, he's gonna be direct, but then he's gonna calm down because I actually get his attention. Shh. And then just sounds and the body language just takes in. Come here. Shh. Hey. Sit. Shh. And this is all normal. It's sensitive there. So I'm not afraid of it at all. He's a very soft dog compared to the ones I work with, so this is nothing. But if I do this here, see, that's nothing. That's just him redirected to area sensitive. But when I do this, what matters is watch his energy calming down. Because now I started to get his attention. Riff. Hey. No. Sit. And then I have to get this loose leash. I have to get him to back off a little bit. So the reason you guys see so much pressure being used in this training is because I haven't yet put the collar of choice on this dog. He's currently on a choker collar that he came with, which as you can see is not very effective, and therefore is requiring more pressure in order for me to get his attention. He is a very powerful dog, very physically strong. His owner has no control over him. He had 2 leashes on, 2 different collars on, and he pulled so hard, as you guys saw, he broke his leash. So in order to get his attention, you need to apply pressure. This is a dog that has already been going through training. He is still behaving this way. He requires someone that knows how to trigger his mind in order to get his attention and get him to pay attention to us. And as you can see here, he's a lot more relaxed because I am communicating with him and being able to get his attention. So you see the technique that I show you, that spot is where I'm going to get him to pay attention to me. And it's very gentle. It does not hurt the dog. You can clearly see what I'm doing. And that's why he's reacting this way, because he's not used to someone being able to basically phase him. So that technique basically phases him, get his attention, and once I have his attention, I'm then able to communicate with him. The fact that he redirects like that, it is not a big deal because it's just a natural reaction to the fact that I surprise him with the pressure on his side. If you don't feel comfortable, just don't do it at home. I'm not recommending this type of training if you don't have experience. This is a very effective method, but it is something that requires professional training. So if you're just watching this, I definitely don't recommend, because as you can see, every dog is going to react differently to it. However, at the end of the day, I get results. I get my clients results. I get the dogs to respond to it. This is a dog that hasn't been seen behaving like this before. He's completely full of energy, true forward, very high strung, and he has been up until now. So that's the reason, if you are questioning why would I use a method that has the potential of a dog redirecting, that is why, because it is still the most effective method that I have found. Good boy. Okay, so this is like, it's gonna be already night and day difference, but he has to see it. I'm gonna basically use body language to get him to move with me and stop with me, and only when he doesn't, I'm gonna use the collar to remind him that he has to. So loose leash here with me. The moment he goes too far ahead or anything, I'm gonna apply a sharper correction, so that way I don't have to do it as much.
Yeah, he likes to push you into you.
And even with the sniffing and everything, because when a dog is like that, he's so worried about what's ahead of him. Yeah, no dog, just the first experience. So like, what I noticed before, when someone's coming towards him, he wants to run. So see, now the moment he thought about going, I told him that I don't want him to lunge towards anyone. So he responded to it, and then I released the pressure so that he's just hanging out with me, almost like he's off leash. Because that's the goal, that eventually he controls himself.
Right.
I don't have to hold him back, he just controls himself. All right, then go again. And I can use a little bit of so there was a little bit of pressure, but then he's having to think about it. So do that one more time.
Yeah.
And I can just kind of remind him, stay, and then no correction. So he just kind of stayed there. And I keep pushing him more, so the next time someone comes to pet him, so it's gonna be a little more difficult. But stay. See how I keep redirecting him so that he's not going in forward towards someone greeting him. He has to wait for them to pet him. All right, go ahead.
Oh, good boy, yeah.
And so what I do is I'm only applying pressure when he's being a little bit, when I know he's gonna be forward. Otherwise, I'm leaving it loose so he doesn't get used to this.
Right.
Because even with the prone collar, a lot of people do this all the time. They're like,
Yeah,
the arm is up here. So you have to really get conditioned that in the beginning, I'm very aware of my surroundings. So if a dog is coming or anything, I'm going to be ready here to do a little correction if I need to. But otherwise, I'm just chilling with him.
Yeah.
Because that's how he learns to be comfortable just on his own. He's not relying on you holding him back.
Right.
He's kind of having to rely on him remembering that he has to hold himself back.
I've been walking him like off the sidewalk
Yep.
and in the street because there's too many distractions on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and even see, like, his nose goes straight to the ground. And like I said, this is a natural thing, but I like to redirect because the dogs also can learn that they don't have to do it all the time. So you can just walk with him. So every time his nose goes down, I'm redirecting. So he's just walking with me. Heel. Sit. Good. When he's like this, he's paying attention. It's just the body language being neutral, where he's not fixating on anything. He's looking around. He's waiting for the next thing to happen. Heel. Good boy. Good.
Yeah, that's why we had to go on the street to
Sit.
walk. Because it was just all the time nose to the ground.
Can we close that gate a little bit more? The same thing with something that he doesn't know. Now we're teaching him to hold back a little bit, and then just using body language to keep him watching me, which is something new to him. I can tell, he has a hard time holding himself back. So the moment he moves, my job is to go back to him and put him right back in the same spot. See, he's confused. Hey. No. And he knew. See how he knew that he messed up. It was I don't have to do much. He already knows that he needs to be watching out for me. But even this is something new to him. Hey. Sit. Sit. So because it's something new to him, he doesn't want to do the wrong thing, but he's also confused why he is staying there. Sit. So this is very important that he learns to have self-control. So when he's looking around a lot, he's worried about everything that's going on around him because that's all he knows. But at the same time, he's the type of dog that he needs guidance. So he's already actually looking up to me for guidance. He's just very confused. Hey. Sit. So this is very important that whenever he gets up before I release him, he gets put back in that position. Sit. That was very good, and he's watching my movement now. Because what I do is I keep my hand moving to keep his attention on me, but also he's learning to see every time he moves, he's getting immediately put back here. Sit. And the other thing too is that he does respond really well. So with the pressure and everything, he already knows he's supposed to pay attention to me. He just doesn't know exactly what he's supposed to do right now, which is that's how he learns, repetition.
Right.
But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, he knows not to just do whatever he wants, but at the same time, he doesn't understand exactly why he's supposed to stay there. So like, even with him laying down, that's an avoidance thing, which is better than him running around. But see, he just went right back up.
Yeah.
Hey, sit. He's just trying to find whatever is the most comfortable for him right now. Sit. Which, the sitting is going to be perfectly fine. In just a little bit, as he learns that once he sits there for a little bit longer, I'm going to release him. Sit. Hey. Very anxious, and that's why he's so...
Yes, he is.
But this is going to actually stop the barking and all those things. This he will take care of that stuff, because he's going to learn to hold himself back. The barking is because whenever he cannot just run for something that he wants, he barks instead. That's what he's doing. Whenever you finally hold him back. But right now we're not just physically holding him back, we're teaching him to mentally, hold him back. It's basically his job to hold himself there. That's why it takes a lot of repetition the first time. But this is gonna take care of the barking and everything, because he will learn to hold himself. So it's like he's more content with staying still.
With himself.
That was much better. So now, good boy. Heel. Good boy. Let's see. Then we release him. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Down. And then go again. So what I see with him so far is more like almost like a jealousy thing, because German Shepherds are very prone to that. When it's someone that he knows, and of course just excitement. He wants to go. So see, his mind is there, but you want to be able to do enough to get his attention. Whenever you get his attention, like stop it. you should be with a loose leash. So I can look around. I don't like to be like on top of the dog or blocking them because they sense that you, and that can make them a little more paranoid that something bad is happening. They get more anxious. But I stay even naturally behind them and then loose leash, but I'm ready. The moment he either is whiny or getting a little bit too fixated on the other dog or about to lunge, that's when I do a firmer correction, put them in the place again, and then I relax again. It has to be very important that you almost give the dog that impression that you can get his attention. You can stop him. You know what you're doing. Because once you do that, naturally, he's going to be more responsive. To hold himself back and start with the dog like this, not engaging with him in that way, because like they're both being reactive. So like you watch his body language. So the tail wagging in this case is too much excitement. It doesn't mean happening. So it's almost like you can watch the breath of his body, see how his whole head is like kind of a little bit intense towards him, and the tail is wagging faster. So a lot of people confuse that, oh, he's happy, he wants to feed him, but he's actually being reactive. Yeah. So a lot of people confuse this, you know, and it's kind of tricky because it's almost hard to explain, but you have to. I can see that he's being a little. He's confused because there's a dog in front of him. He's like he doesn't. When he's trying to go faster, it's that direction, and then it's almost like he goes to two different extremes. See how he goes from trying to lunge towards him to then trying to get away. And I just put him back where I want him. I'm teaching him to just walk with me. You know, I don't want him to be afraid of the other dog, which is that's what happened the first time. Good boy. But I'm keeping a loose leash. And I keep giving him a positive energy, just positive reinforcement, just like whenever he's being good. Because again, he's really the reality of all this is that he's very confused with the whole situation. So it's gonna be both extremes. It's like so that's another thing that I do too, just to like see how he's confused. We're gonna keep him right here. Good. Now when he's once he's just hanging out, I'm gonna pat him a little bit, let him know it's okay. And I'm not holding him back, so he's just kind of learning to hold himself back. Good boy. And from that, like I said, this is how it naturally gets better, where he starts to look away. But I don't want him to be too pushy with other dogs, because that's another thing too. Even though he may not have a bad intention, if he's so pushy with another dog and he just lunges towards them, they're going to be afraid of him. So they're either going to run away or be reactive, which can start a fight, because he doesn't know how to interact with another dog and then just walk away. So it's kind of tricky, you know. They don't have a bad intention, but this is just too wrong. I am now going to bring one of my dogs into the yard to see how Riff responds to that, because as we know, he's very pushy with other dogs. But now that we have been working with him for several minutes here, I brought my dog in, put her in a down, and I am just seeing how he is going to respond, which he was already so much calmer and therefore less interested. What I figured is that he doesn't really have a problem with other dogs. He really just doesn't know what to do with himself in many situations. So this is basically what we're working with him here, is just teaching him to hold himself back and be just more chill in different environments and different situations. Now we have a dog running around him, and look at his body language, you know, just chilling there. His tail is still wagging, but he's a lot calmer, which the tail wagging is okay. He wants to play. He is engaging in the situation. That's perfectly fine, but he's not being pushy. See the slack on the leash, that he's not pulling on the leash at all. He's being very respectful of me holding the leash, and he is engaging with my dog very nicely. Around the dog like this, where they get to make contact, the more you're gonna be desensitized.
I feel like I missed the whole season.
You know, he warms up and everything. It's just gonna be a matter of you have to continue to practice this, but you just keep getting better. You know, he wants to play now. She's protective of the car too. And she's only 9 months? Oh, okay. No, it's okay for now. So I see that she'll definitely bite.
Yeah.
if given the chance. The next dog is a little over a year old, Dalmatian. She has some aggression issues. And this here is just me testing to see if she would bite. She's in the car, and yes, she would definitely bite. If you put your hand, she will snap at you and bite. I do this just to test because sometimes the owners don't know for sure. And now we're gonna get her out of the car and get started. Doesn't know any better, so. Yeah, hold on to her for 1 second. Let me see. What's her name again?
Molly.
Molly. Okay. So see the ground and everything. Okay, you can just pass her to me. Molly. So with her, she's just definitely, like I said, she's starting to think that she's supposed to be protective, you know, natural with some breeds, natural with dogs in general. I could tell she's protective of the car. She's probably protective over you. She's probably protective of different things, or having, you know, resource guarding issues with food and the couch, any balls, anything that she has. The moment I got the leash, her whole temperament changed. She's very friendly with me. It changes completely. So that's a dog that is testing out those natural instincts of being protective and territorial. But at the same time, she just, you know, she's testing it out. For as long as you let her do that, she's going to continue to do that.
Okay.
Let's see if she shows any other type of aggression. So she's, you know, right now she's a little insecure, which can also be a part of the problem with her being showing aggression. It's being secure. So whenever she's in the car, she feels like she's closing in there. That's her territory. She's going to then try to scare people away, which is what she was doing there. Which is at this age, you know, see, like same thing right now. See how she's trying to avoid this because it put her in a position where she's not comfortable to even show aggression. So she saw the dog. We're gonna do my dog first because I know she's reactive with other dogs too. And then after that, I want to put her back in the car, and then we're gonna start correcting her. Put her in the car and correct her in the car, because that's where I'm gonna be able to see her aggression today. But what I'm gonna show you is exactly what I do when she's in the car. You're gonna do the same thing in any other place, anytime she shows.
Are you okay, Mom?
No, I know. No.
So see, correcting her right away. She's younger, so it's actually gonna be easier. So when she's a dog that is younger, it's gonna be easier. So the moment I corrected her, she was backed off right away. So even with other dogs, I can tell it's definitely a fear thing. So she's not sure about other dogs. I'm gonna leave it open. She's not gonna go anywhere. Shh. Ariana, come. No. So that's no. Let me close this. So also, has she ever been around other dogs?
No.
Yeah. Just the one that she lives with. So not like new dogs. No new dogs. So that's what I can tell with around other dogs. So the more that she can do this here, the better she's gonna get. So she's starting to already warm up a little bit. And the more dogs she gets exposed to, the better she's gonna get. So that's kind of gonna be her dog situation. Is gonna be a matter of it's socializing a dog that already developed reactiveness issues with other dogs. When you get a brand new puppy, you want to socialize them. When they get to be a little bit older, she already learned to be afraid of them. She learned to be scared of them, and she's unsure. And she learned to kind of scare them away too with her growling and barking. So now the first thing, kind of like with the shepherd, the first step is to stop the aggression. So any type of heavy panting, you know, showing teeth. This is great. Whenever she's trying to approach another dog, it's going to be great. And that's also a good sign. She really just doesn't know better. A dog that, like I said, some dogs are born with like bad temperaments, and they're mean. They want to bite other dogs. And then there's others that they're lost. They're very confused, and that's what she is. She's very confused with other dogs. So if a dog just comes running up to her, I know she's going to be reactive and unsure about it. Okay, so like see how when she got up, she got unsure. No. And also you want to be very assertive with correcting her, but not acting like it's a big deal. So like this is nothing. A lot of people would be like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. It's important that you relax. Sit. You always want to wait to see what she does, but you know, even after each time I correct her, she actually backs off a lot. She's a lot more. Hey. Come here. Here. Twice. So. You know, she's very tense. And when I petted her, she's like afraid. She feels like the mentality that she has that she's going to get attacked. Basically, what I'm doing here is just sensitizing a very fearful dog that has been getting away with her fear. This is a very sensitive dog to work with, a very delicate situation because you cannot baby them out of their fear and you cannot convince them otherwise unless you put them through their fear. So it becomes a very difficult case to work with because most owners just want to make the dog feel better, you know, and they don't know how to what's the right approach to get the dog's attention and to actually make the situation better. So what I'm doing here is putting her through her fear. I'm doing a lot of things that would desensitize her. You see me putting my hand in her mouth when she was just trying to bite me about 10 minutes ago. She's very fearful, very timid, but this will help build her confidence. A lot of times, just fearful dogs will use aggression as an escape, and as long as you let it work for them, they're going to continue to use it. Even her owners could not pick her off the ground or help her because she uses aggression whenever she's uncomfortable in any situation. And this dog is very uncomfortable in many situations, along with dogs and environments and things that you may do with her, like brushing or cutting her nails. So getting her desensitized to being touched and have being handled like this is going to make her a more confident dog and make her life a lot easier.